It is do or die time for Sam Pittman. After that remarkable 9-win season in Arkansas back in 2021, the Hogs have just steadily gotten worse. 7-6 in 2022, a 4-8 season in 2023, and he has to deliver now in 2024 if he wants to remain the head Hog. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. Ready to break down the Arkansas Razorbacks, their schedule, their record for this upcoming season. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home to those exclusive expert picks, some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country for one of the lowest prices in the entire country. We want you to take advantage of that. We want you to go sign up for those today. The earlier you do it, the better it's going to be for you, and we guarantee you'll win big with us as we beat out over 80% of the national handicappers each of the last 6 years. Also, check out our exclusive newsletter over on thegridironexpert.com, and everything down in the description, again, is there for you to become a member of our GE Nation and make this season even better for you. So let's take a look at Arkansas, guys. This program, to me, really went downhill, started to go downhill when KJ Jefferson fumbled at the goal line against Texas A&M in 2022. That play, that one singular play, I firmly believe completely changed the course of this program. At that moment, Arkansas was a top 10 team and was on pace, setting up to beat Texas A&M. They had that game completely under control. And if the Hogs score a touchdown there, they win that game. I'm firmly convinced. Instead, Jefferson fumbles, A&M returns it. The Hogs are 7-14 since that play. 7-14, including that 4-8 season last year with 5 one-possession losses. Could not find a way to win the close games. But this year feels a little bit different. Sam Pittman went in and made a lot of changes. And the Hogs have a lot of talent that people aren't talking about. All he's got to do is get the Hogs to a bowl game to save his job. Question is, can he do it? Well, a lot of people think he can because he made a crazy hire this offseason, bringing in Bobby Petrino. Bobby's back, baby. BMFP is back in Fayetteville. The former Arkansas head coach that had maybe the greatest run of success in Fayetteville since the Frank Broyles days, led Arkansas to a Sugar Bowl win and an 11-win season in 2011. He's back as the offensive coordinator after the Razorbacks had a horrendous offense in 2023. They averaged just 327 yards per game, but all that should change now. Better quarterback play. Taylon Green transferring in from Boise State, where he threw for over 3,700 yards and rushed for over 1,000. Dual threat quarterback for Bobby Petrino. We've seen what he can do with them. He's in now for Arkansas. JaQuinton Jackson transfers in from Utah after rushing for over 1,300 yards in 2 seasons with the Utes. And then you've got Rashad Dubinion right behind him as well. So a very good running back core. The wide receiver core, extremely underrated for the Hogs. You've got all their top pass catchers returning from last year. Andrew Armstrong, Isaac Tesla, Isaiah Satania, and the tight end, Luke Haas. Man, he was on pace to have a massive freshman year before he got hurt. He is going to be one of the best tight ends, not just in the SEC, but I think in the entire country if he can stay healthy. We know how Bobby Petrino loves to utilize his tight ends. Did it at Arkansas when he was a head coach. DJ Williams won the Mackey Award during his time with the Razorbacks. Haas is set up for a big season, but none of that's going to matter if the offensive line can't improve after they gave up 47 sacks in 2023. So the offensive line has to improve drastically if the Hogs want to be better offensively. Defensively, look, the defense wasn't the problem last year. 8 starters are back, and Travis Williams has done a phenomenal job in his short time as defensive coordinator. They only allowed 357 yards per game and only 203 passing yards per game after having the worst secondary in the country in 2022. So the secondary took a major step forward last year. And again, the defense wasn't the problem for the Hogs. They could only do so much when their offense was as bad as it was. But the secondary returns Jaden Johnson. They returned Jalen Braxton. They went out and added Danico Slaughter from Tennessee. Marquise Robinson transfers in from South Alabama. And then you go into the front 7. Xavier Sori transfers in at linebacker from Georgia. Landon Jackson is anchoring the defensive line after leading the team with 6.5 sacks last year. This is a good Arkansas defense. And I actually am going to use that word good. They've got talent, and they've got a very good, underrated defensive coordinator who I think will be a head coach very soon. But you take a look at Arkansas' schedule. It's tough. That is life in the SEC. Can Arkansas find a way to pull off an upset or two to get to the postseason? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, their home slate is really good. And by being good, I mean they're getting to host the big dogs. Better to host them than have to go to them. Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, Texas, all have to come to Fayetteville. That's massive for Sam Pittman. And I do think Arkansas wins at least one of those big-time home games. But let's find out who it's going to be against. They will open the year up with a win against UAPB, and they will lose to Oklahoma State. The amount of people I see picking Arkansas to beat Oklahoma State, it kind of blows my mind. I don't know why. I guess the only hope you have in this game is hoping that Oklahoma State's defense is as bad as it was last year, and that Bobby Petrino is going to come in and make an immediate impact. And I think he will, but make an immediate impact and exploit that Oklahoma State defense. It's the only way. You've got an 11 a.m. kickoff against the Big 12 runner-up, an Oklahoma State team that returns 19 starters, an Arkansas defense that gave up over 150 rushing yards per game that's now facing the nation's leading rusher from last year in Ollie Gordon. The Cowboys are very experienced. They've got home field advantage. I like Oklahoma State a lot in this game. I think the Hogs maybe keep it close, but I just don't see them beating the Cowboys, who are absolutely Big 12 title and college football playoff contenders this year. So they're 1-1. They will beat UAB. They are 2-1, and that's when the schedule gets tough. Right after that, Auburn, A&M, Tennessee, LSU. Those next 4 games, absolutely brutal for the Hogs. And I'll cut to the chase. They're going to lose all 4 of them. And I know Arkansas fans are going to hate to hear that. But do you really believe you're going to beat Auburn? You lost 48-10 last year. That game was over within the first 5 minutes when you got down 14-0. And then, isn't that the game where your players were watching the Polar Express in the locker room? 48-10 to the Tigers. They had 0 first downs in their first 4 possessions offensively. That's going to change this year. But the Hogs never play well at Jordan-Hare Stadium. They just don't. They won there back in 2022, which was great, down year for Auburn, but they never play well at Jordan-Hare Stadium. They hold their own against Hugh Freeze's squad, but they fall short once again. It's not going to be a 38-point loss like last year, but it won't be a win. Then you got A&M, who is Arkansas's kryptonite. Interesting game here. Petrino was the offensive coordinator at A&M last year. Now he's the offensive coordinator at Arkansas. So maybe he'll be able to shed a little insight to Travis Williams to help out this defense. But Arkansas has lost 11 of the last 12 meetings to the Aggies. They do not fare well against A&M, and they have not fared well against them since they joined the SEC. Last year, they lost 34-22 despite winning the turnover battle, despite scoring on a pick 6. Arkansas only mustered 174 yards the entire game. 174 yards the entire game. We're outgained 414 to 174. Won the turnover battle, had a pick 6, still lost by 12, couldn't get anything going offensively. It was a terrible, terrible game. I cannot pick Arkansas to beat Texas A&M until I can see them actually do it. And yes, I know they did it back in 2021, but they haven't done it since. Haven't done it since 2022, KJ Jefferson fumble game, and then last year was just really, really hard to watch. So I'm not picking them. I can't pick them to do it. I still think A&M, with the talent they have at quarterback and Carter Weidman, the solid wide receiver core, and a very good defense, it's just going to be ultimately too much for the Hogs to handle. Then you get Tennessee at home. Can the defense, Arkansas's defense, handle Tennessee's offense? Can the Hogs' offensive line handle Tennessee's very strong front 7? I don't think so on either of those. I think the Hogs' defense struggles against this Tennessee offense and Nico Iamaleava. I think the Hogs' front offensive line struggles against that Tennessee front 7. I think Taylon Green's going to be literally running for his life quite a bit in this game. The Volunteers have way too much offensive firepower, and defensively not better than Arkansas by any means. Their secondary is a little bit weak, which hopefully you would think Bobby Petrino is going to drop something to exploit that. But ultimately, Tennessee has just a little bit too much, and they get a win over the Arkansas for the first time in a while. The Hogs have won the last 3 meetings back in 2011, 2015, and 2020. Fall short this time. And then we mentioned they'll lose to LSU. That's a winnable game. That's a winnable game. The Hogs always get up for the Tigers. The battle for the Golden Boot feels like a must-win game, entering this one at 2-4. It's interesting, the last 4 meetings against LSU have been decided by a field goal. The last 4 games between Arkansas and LSU have been decided by just 3 points each game. That includes a 34-31 loss last year, where Sam Pittman made the interesting decision to not let LSU score a touchdown to allow Arkansas more time to try to go tie the game, but instead allowed them to run out the entire clock and kick the game-winning chip shot field goal. It's a very interesting decision by him. Poor coaching move, in my opinion, by him. Nonetheless, LSU got the win. They lost 13-10 to the Tigers in 2022, won in Death Valley in 2021, lost by 3 in that COVID season. So, very competitive game, and I expect this game to be very, very close once again. That's probably one of those winnable games we mentioned for those big home games for Arkansas, but I think they fall just short. The Tigers have got their number right now. Garrett Nussmeier, a very, very good quarterback, showed a lot of promise in LSU's bowl game. And once again, like Tennessee, that front 7 for LSU is extremely dangerous. They've got a lot of talent up front on that defensive line and that linebacking core. I'm just not sure the Hogs can handle it. So they fall to LSU. Then they get Mississippi State. That's a winnable conference game. It's on the road, but you got to win this one if you want to have any slim shot of going bowling. If you want to go bowling, you better start picking up the pace. Luckily for the Hogs, I do think they beat the Bulldogs. They lost 7-3 last year in one of the worst games I've ever watched. 7-3 last year, a game that featured, I think, 400 combined yards of offense between the Razorbacks and the Bulldogs. But now they're going on the road with a better team in every aspect except for home field advantage. They own the offensive edge. They own the coaching edge. Mississippi State in year one under Jeff Lebby. They own the defensive edge. If Arkansas loses this game, you've got some bigger issues. And I honestly, if the predictions go the way we think and then they lose Mississippi State, wouldn't be shocked to see Sam Pittman fired right after that or maybe heading into that second bye week. But regardless, I think they win. Let's not think about that. I think they beat Mississippi State. So they've got their third win of the season. Riding a bit of a high, I think they beat Ole Miss. There is your big-time home win. We said they were getting one. Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, Texas. They're winning at least one. Give me the win over Ole Miss. Arkansas, like LSU, they always get up for the Rebels. Always get up for the Rebels. Last year, they were leading Ole Miss. Arkansas was so bad last year. And they were leading Ole Miss by 3 in the fourth quarter before ultimately falling 27-20. They always play them well. They beat them bad in 2022 in Fayetteville. We're up 42-6 at one point before winning 42-27. Lost by 1 point in 2021. Beaten them by 12 in 2020. Ole Miss has not won in Fayetteville. They've won a few in Little Rock, but they have not won in Fayetteville since 2008. And since that 2008 meeting, Ole Miss and Arkansas have played in 8 one-possession games. And the two have split those one-possession games, 4-4. This game was always close. Arkansas's defense always finds a way to kind of hang with and slow down Lane Kiffin's offense. Riding a little bit of high after getting that Mississippi State win. They come home in front of a crowd that's kind of getting some expectations back. They upset the Rebels at home. Feel good about that one. They get out of the bye week. Can they make it 3 straight wins? Can they beat Texas in another big home game? No. No, they cannot. Texas, yes, I know they crushed the Longhorns last time here, 40-21 back in 2021. I love that this rivalry is renewed. Texas now in the SEC. This will be the first game between Arkansas and Texas that is a conference game since 1991, where they were members of the Southwest Conference. So awesome reunion here, a game that obviously meant a lot in 2021, but even means more now. That's going to affect the conference standings. But Texas is too good, guys. Got one of the best quarterbacks in the country in Quinn Ewers. They've got a loaded defense, a loaded wide receiver core. And I think, Steve Sarkisian is looking for redemption. It's been a few years, but looking for redemption after that beatdown they suffered in 2021. Texas gets the win, which means if Arkansas wants to go bowling, they've got to win their last 2 games. They will beat Louisiana Tech. 5 wins. Improvement from last year. But they won't beat Missouri. Why would we think they'd beat Missouri? They're 2-8 against the Tigers since the Tigers joined the SEC. They got torched 48-14 last year in Fayetteville. And yes, I know KJ Jefferson got hurt in that game. The Hogs were giving up at that point. But now you got a Missouri team that could be fighting for a college football playoff spot, returns tons on the offensive side of the ball, has a very, very good defense once again. The Hogs never play well against Missouri. Have, again, 2-8 in conference play. It's just absolutely embarrassing. They're not going to win now in Columbia. So with all that being said, we've got Sam Pittman's squad going 5-7 in 2024. And I hate that. I really do. I want to see him get back to the postseason. I love Pittman. I love Petrino. I want to see him get there. Maybe you think they beat LSU to get to that 6th win. Maybe you think they're going to beat Oklahoma State or A&M, who they always play relatively close. There's winnable games on the schedule, and Arkansas definitely has way more talent in my eyes this year than they had last year. They're a way better team this year than they were last year. But a lot of this is going to come down to how quickly Petrino can fix his offense, how quickly the offensive line can get fixed under new O-line coach Eric Mateos, and obviously how they can just navigate the schedule. What's the psyche of this team as they go through such a brutal slate. 5-7 for the Hogs. It's better than what they had last year, but not enough in my eyes to save Sam Pittman's job, which once again lead the Razorbacks to ask at the end of the season who will be the head Hog heading in to 2025. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home to those exclusive expert picks and newsletters. Do not miss out on those guys. Some of the best picks in the country for one of the lowest prices in the country. Everything there is for you to take advantage of and become a member of our GE Nation. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.